The entire hip-hop universe is in absolute shock tonight after an explosive move that nobody saw coming. Kendrick Lamar's, the same Kendrick who's dominated charts, shut down stadiums, and been hailed as the voice of a generation, just gave up his profits to none other than Rakim, the legendary godfather of rap. Social media is in meltdown mode. Fans are arguing. Artists are picking sides. And insiders say this act has set off a chain reaction that could change the industry forever. Whispers started with a cryptic tweet. But by the time dawn hit, the news was everywhere. Kendrick is out of his mind, some claimed, while others called him the most loyal artist alive. Was this pure respect, secret beef, or something deeper? Nobody knows for sure. But what's certain is that behind the scenes, the tension is out of control. Music execs are scrambling, contracts are being questioned. And even family members have started weighing in on national TV. "There's gotta be more to this story," said one host, her voice trembling with disbelief. Emotions are running so high that former friends are now rivals, and entire hip-hop families are on the brink of a civil war. Why would Kendrick risk everything: money, reputation, legacy, for a man who paved the way but hasn't been in the limelight for years? Is this an epic act of gratitude or something far more complicated? Stay tuned, because what's happening next will leave everyone slate last night, in a move that would send aftershocks through every corner of the hip-hop world. Kendrick Lamar sat quietly in a private studio in Los Angeles, the room thick with the scent of incense and tension. His closest confidants could barely believe what was unfolding. Kendrick, known for his guarded nature and unwavering business sense, is about to sign over the rights and the massive profits from his latest chart-topping album to Rakim, the living legend whose rhymes built the very foundation Kendrick now stood on. In hushed tones, people wondered if he'd finally lost his mind or if this was hip-hop's greatest act of respect. The world outside didn't know it yet, but the people in that room felt history about to change. It all started with an unassuming Instagram Live. Rakim, rarely seen on camera these days, had gone live to thank fans for their love over the decades. As he wrapped up, a sudden flurry of heart emojis poured in, and Kendrick's username popped up in the comments. "Much love, big bro. We gotta talk." Rakim nodded, confused but intrigued. Within hours, sources close to both camps reported a flurry of late-night phone calls and cryptic tweets. Some called it a simple reunion. Others sensed something seismic brewing. But what no one realized was that a storm of emotions, pride, and old wounds was about to break loose. By morning, rumors ran wild. Every hip-hop blog speculated about a secret collaboration or a diss track, but nobody expected what came next. A leaked photo showed Kendrick and Rakim in deep conversation at a dimly lit restaurant. Body language experts dissected every gesture. Rakim looked cautious, his brow furrowed. Kendrick leaned in, eyes intense, his hands moving as he explained something only the two could understand. Fans flooded Twitter with wild theories. Some hoped for an epic joint album. Others worried Kendrick was about to retire and name Rakim his successor. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, the atmosphere was charged. Kendrick's inner circle, his manager, his longtime friend Dave, his cousin Jada were all at odds over his intentions. Jada, never one to hold back, confronted him directly in the studio. "Are you really about to do this? Give up all that money? Do you know how many people depend on you?" Her voice trembled, equal parts fear and disbelief. Kendrick, his face unreadable, simply replied, "Some things are bigger than profits, Jada. Sometimes you gotta pay your debts to the ones who came before you." Dave, loyal but practical, pulled Kendrick aside. "Look, I respect Rakim. Everyone does. But this is crazy, bro. You know what this means for your family, your team? You built this." Kendrick shook his head. "I built this on the shoulders of giants. You wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here without him." The argument left the studio tense and silent, with Dave storming out and Jada in tears. News of the coming transfer spread like wildfire. Music execs at Kendrick's label went into full panic mode. Group chats exploded with disbelief. "Is this legal?" someone texted. "Does Rakim even want this?" Others wondered aloud if Kendrick was being blackmailed or if there was some behind-the-scenes scandal brewing. Meanwhile, Rakim's camp was just as shaken. His son Tyrell called his father as soon as the rumors hit. "Pops, is this for real? Kendrick's about to hand you millions." Rakim sighed, his voice heavy with decades of struggle. "I don't know, Ty. I honestly don't know why he's doing this." As pressure mounted, Kendrick's own family was thrown into turmoil. His mother, never one for the spotlight, called him late at night, her voice trembling. "Kendrick, baby, you always do what's right. But don't let anyone take advantage of your kindness. Remember, you got a family to look after." For the first time, Kendrick hesitated. He felt the weight of his entire world pressing on him: legacy, loyalty, expectation, and love. Across the industry, the fallout was immediate. Drake posted a cryptic story. "Loyalty ain't cheap, but is it priceless?" Jay-Z called it the most shocking move in modern hip-hop. Even old rivals like Big Sean weighed in, saying sometimes the realest moves make no sense at all. Inside Kendrick's team, the drama only intensified. His producer, Lewis, furious about being left in the dark, stormed into a meeting. "You think you can just give everything away and we'll be cool with it? We worked for this, Kendrick. I worked for this." Kendrick, clearly hurt but resolute, said softly, "You helped build the sound, Lewis, but Rakim built the culture." Tension reached a boiling point when Jada, unable to take the secrecy, leaked details of the planned transfer to a tabloid journalist. Within hours, headlines screamed, "Kendrick Lamar to forfeit profits. Rakim blindsided." The news crashed the internet. Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high as the story spiraled out of control. Some called Kendrick a hero, others branded him reckless. Even within the Lamar household, the family was left divided. His aunt praised him for honoring his elders, but his uncle warned him not to throw his hard work away. Rakim, blindsided by the headlines, called Kendrick directly. "Look, young blood, I don't want your money. I didn't ask for any of this. You've got to think this through." Kendrick's response was simple, but heavy with meaning. "It's not just about you, Rakim. It's about what you did for all of us. It's my way of showing the world what respect really means." As the dust settled, the hip-hop world waited with bated breath for the next move. Journalists staked out both rappers' homes, desperate for a glimpse or a quote. Bloggers speculated wildly: was this a publicity stunt, a hidden beef, or the start of a new chapter for both artists? Nobody knew for sure, but one thing was clear. Kendrick Lamar had set off a storm that no one, not even Rakim, was ready for. And just as fans thought the story couldn't get crazier, word spread that Kendrick was about to make the transfer official live in front of the whole world. But not everyone was ready to watch history be rewritten, especially with so many secrets still lurking in the shadows. And divided and desperate for answers, news crews crowded the entrance of the iconic Apollo Theater as word leaked that Kendrick would sign Over the Prophets live in front of a global audience. A stage was set, but so was the tension. Fans lined the block, holding up signs, some with messages of pure respect, others with questions like, "Is Kendrick making a mistake? And what's really going on?" Hip-hop was buzzing, with artists from every era glued to their screens, eager to witness what many called the craziest twist in rap history. Inside, the atmosphere was electric. Rakim arrived early, dressed sharp but carrying a weight he couldn't hide. His team clustered around him, some excited, some anxious, and his son Tyrell kept asking, "You sure you want this, Pops?" Rakim shook his head. "I didn't ask for this, Ty. But sometimes the world chooses you." In a private moment backstage, Rakim dialed Kendrick's number. "I need to see you before this goes down," he said quietly. Meanwhile, Kendrick sat in a limo just a block away, hands shaking, phone lighting up with texts from friends and family. His cousin Jada's messages alternated between love and panic. "Don't let them make a fool of you," one said. Then, "This is your moment. Make it count." Dave, still stung by being sidelined, sent a final plea. "Don't do something you can't take back." Kendrick closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and finally replied to Rakim, "See you in 5." The meeting was tense. Behind closed doors, away from the cameras, Kendrick and Rakim faced off. Rakim's voice was steady, but full of emotion. "Why are you really doing this? I've never seen you back down from anything, but this. This is giving up a part of yourself?" Kendrick's response was honest and raw. "I was raised on your lyrics. You gave us permission to speak truth to power, to stand tall even when the world wanted us quiet. If anyone deserves this, it's you. I don't want the world thinking I forgot where I came from." Rakim put a hand on Kendrick's shoulder. "We're all part of the same story, but you've got to make sure this is really your chapter, not someone else's." Their conversation was interrupted by a knock on the door. Rakim's manager peeked in, nervously telling them the world was waiting. As they stepped out, both men looked more uncertain than ever, but determined not to let their doubt show. Cameras flashed, fans cheered, but others booed. Tension was at a boiling point. The ceremony began with a montage of both artists' achievements, the crowd roaring with every image. A host spoke about legacy, respect, and the torch passing from one generation to the next. But even as Kendrick took the stage, his inner circle watched with bated breath, some secretly hoping he'd change his mind at the last second. The moment arrived. Kendrick stood at the microphone, his voice steady but eyes betraying the storm. "Inside him, I owe everything to those who paved the way. Tonight, I honor that debt. I'm signing over every dollar of this album's profits to Rakim, not as charity, but as respect." Whoa. The crowd gasped. Some erupted in applause. Others shouted objections. On social media, chaos exploded. Fans argued, rappers weighed in live, and hip-hop felt more divided than ever. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a former collaborator stormed the stage. Marvin, a rapper with a long-standing grudge against both men. "This isn't real," he yelled, his voice echoing in the hall. "This is about guilt. It's about covering up the truth." Security rushed in, but the damage was done. Whispers and rumors flew. Was there a hidden scandal? Had something happened years ago that nobody knew about? As the dust settled and the crowd was calmed, Kendrick and Rakim exchanged a look, a mix of pain, respect, and shared secrets. The handover went through, contracts signed on live TV. The world watched in disbelief, some hailing it as the ultimate act of hip-hop loyalty. Others convinced something darker was at play. Outside the theater, chaos reigned. Jada broke down in tears, sobbing to reporters about how her cousin had given everything away for people who wouldn't do the same for him. Dave cursed the industry for putting Kendrick in an impossible spot. Even Kendrick's mother, who had always been his rock, struggled to find the right words when pressed by journalists. "My son always does what he thinks is right. But I just hope he isn't left alone at the end of it." In the days that followed, new questions emerged. Rumors surfaced of a lost track, a song Kendrick and Rakim had recorded in secret. One that could reveal the true reason behind this shocking handover. Fans became obsessed, scouring forums and leaking supposed snippets. Producers who'd worked with both artists dropped cryptic hints, fueling speculation that this story was from overdone emotions ran high as entire hip-hop families took sides. Old beefs were reignited. Kendrick's supporters said he'd set a new gold standard for honor. His critics called him naive, a pawn in someone else's game. And in the middle of it all, Rakim stayed mostly silent, his eyes heavy. His words, measured as if he knew more than he could say, as the world waited for the truth behind Kendrick's sacrifice to emerge. The industry braced for the next revelation, because if history had taught them anything, it was that no secret stays buried forever. No act of loyalty goes unchallenged when fortunes and legacies are on the line. As speculation over the real reason behind Kendrick's stunning decision swept through hip-hop, new twists kept surfacing, making it impossible for anyone to look away. The leaked rumors of a secret track only fueled the flames. Social media detectives, hungry for any clue, began analyzing every cryptic Instagram post, every hint dropped in interviews, and every lyric ever recorded by either artist. Fans were shocked as an anonymous account claimed to have a snippet of the lost song. Within hours, a grainy recording surfaced on SoundCloud, a rough, emotional verse that hinted at betrayal, unfinished business, and debts that went far beyond money. The internet exploded. Some believed the track proved Kendrick's move was an act of redemption for an old secret, while others insisted it was just the start of a much deeper drama. Music blogs ran wild with speculation. Headlines screamed, "Did Rakim save Kendrick's career years ago? And is there a hidden feud behind the Prophet's handover?" Emotions ran high as hip-hop communities fractured. Some fans dug their heels in to defend Kendrick, while others turned on him, demanding answers. Meanwhile, inside Kendrick's camp, chaos reigned. Dave, feeling more betrayed than ever, accused Kendrick of sacrificing the entire team's financial security. "You didn't just give away your profits, you gave away ours too." Dave fumed during a late-night confrontation. "What are we supposed to do now?" Kendrick, voice heavy with regret, replied, "You'll get yours, I promise. But this is something I had to do." The team's producer, Lewis, quit on the spot, posting a scathing message online. "We built this together. You can't erase us from the story." The fallout hit every layer of Kendrick's world. Fans began to unfollow in droves. Family members stopped taking his calls. At a family dinner meant to clear the air, Jada stood up, tears streaking her face. "We're not just a brand, Kendrick. We're blood. You need to remember who's always had your back." Her words left the room silent and shattered. While the Lamar family fought for understanding, Rakim faced his own storm. His son, Tyrell, struggled with the sudden attention and harsh words directed at his father. "Pops, I thought this was supposed to be a blessing." "But now it feels like a curse," Tyrell confessed. Rakim hugged him tight. "People talk, but we know the truth. Sometimes doing the right thing costs you more than anyone can see." The record label executives, panicked by falling sales and media backlash, tried to intervene. They staged a meeting with both artists, hoping to broker a truce or at least salvage the brand. Instead, things erupted. Executives accused Kendrick of reckless behavior. Rakim stood up for him, but tempers flared. "You're just trying to cover your own tracks." One exec snapped at Kendrick. "You didn't think about anyone but yourself." Kendrick's reply was simple. "I thought about all of you. It's just not the way you wanted." In the midst of the chaos, another rumor hit Marvin. It's the same rapper who crashed the Apollo event, was threatening to leak old emails and messages between Kendrick, Rakim, and other industry giants. These messages allegedly revealed past betrayals and hidden pacts and threatened to destroy more than just reputations. Bloggers and fans scoured the internet searching for any hint of the truth. While insiders warned that this scandal could tear hip-hop's old guard and new wave apart forever, still, in quiet moments, Kendrick and Rakim tried to reconnect. The two met in secret at a small Brooklyn jazz club, hoping to talk honestly away from cameras and screaming fans. "You know they'll never let this go," Kendrick said, swirling his drink. Rakim smiled weary. "Let them talk. What matters is what we do next." They shared stories, memories, and regrets, two men bound by music, legacy, And now a storm that threatened to swallow them both. All the while, the industry watched, divided and anxious. Some rappers called for peace, hoping the drama would fade. Others took sides, dropping diss tracks and stirring the pot. Emotions ran high as the family was left divided. Friends became foes, and hip-hop itself seemed on the brink of a civil war. The question on everyone's lips: what would happen next? Would Kendrick and Rakim come clean about the lost track? Would Marvin's threatened leaks finally destroy them? Or would they find a way to turn the scandal into something greater? As whispers spread of an emergency press conference, the world waited heart-pounding for the next act in this saga of loyalty, betrayal, and the ultimate price of respect. The tension reached its absolute peak as news broke that Kendrick and Rakim would hold a joint press conference in New York, live-streamed to millions. Everyone in the hip-hop world braced for the fallout. Bloggers camped outside the venue. Radio hosts speculated nonstop, and fans from La to Brooklyn set reminders, determined not to miss a single second. Rumors swirled about what would be revealed. Would they confirm the lost track? Would Marvin's leaks destroy both men's reputations? Or would there be a final twist that no one expected? Inside the venue, Kendrick and Rakim waited together. In a back room flanked by their closest allies Jada, Dave, Tyrell, and even Lewis, who had returned after seeing the mess play out online. The air was heavy with anxiety, but for the first time in days, there was also a sense of unity. Rakim spoke first, his voice quiet but commanding. "Whatever happens out there, we face it together." Kendrick nodded, eyes shining with determination and nerves. "It's time we told them the truth." When the press conference began, the room went silent. The two legends stood side by side, flashes from cameras flickering like lightning. Kendrick took a deep breath, then spoke straight from the heart. "People think this was about money or scandal or even respect. But it's about honesty. Hip-hop built me, Rakim inspired me, but I've carried secrets too long. Tonight, we clear the air." Rakim stepped up to the mic. "Kendrick and I, we've had our battles, we've disagreed. But real respect means facing the past. So here's the truth. Years ago, when Kendrick was just starting out, I helped him behind the scenes. I gave him verses, made calls, opened doors. I never wanted anything in return, but he's the kind of man who doesn't forget a debt." Kendrick nodded, voice trembling. "That's why I handed over the profits. Not because I had to, but because it was the right thing. I want every artist coming up to see what real loyalty looks like, even when it hurts." Just as the crowd began to settle, Marvin appeared in the back, holding a folder of documents and a phone set to stream. "You think you can just say sorry and make it all go away?" he shouted. Security tried to intervene, but Rakim motioned for silence. "Let him speak." Marvin read out fragments of old messages, plans, deals, betrayals, admissions of mistakes. The audience gasped as it became clear that the industry's biggest stars had all relied on each other's help at one time or another. What Marvin tried to weaponize as a scandal only proved that hip-hop was, and always had been, a family, messy, passionate, sometimes at war, but always interconnected. Emotions ran high as Kendrick addressed the crowd one last time. "None of us are perfect. But what we do now in the open matters more than what we hid before." The fans erupted into applause. Some cried, some cheered, some still looked uncertain, but the energy was electric. In the aftermath, everything changed. The lost track was finally released, a soulful, haunting collaboration between Kendrick and Rakim, telling the story of their journey, their flaws, their gratitude, and their love for hip-hop. It shot to the top of every chart, and fans were shocked by the raw emotion in every lyric. Meanwhile, Marvin, exposed but not silenced, announced a new project dedicated to transparency in hip-hop. Dave and Lewis reconciled with Kendrick, realizing that sometimes the biggest risks come from the heart. Jada, proud and relieved, declared on social media, "Family first. Always, no matter how wild the story gets." The press hailed the press conference as a new era for hip-hop one, where secrets were replaced by honesty. Rivalries turned into respect, and loyalty proved stronger than any scandal. Rakim and Kendrick's bond was stronger than ever, their families reunited, and their fans more devoted than before. The world watched as hip-hop's greatest drama ended not in disaster, but in redemption, leaving everyone to wonder what legends might rise next when loyalty and truth come before ego and profit, as the dust settles on the wildest week hip-hop has ever seen. One thing is clear: Kendrick's decision to give up his profits and honor. Rakim didn't just shake the industry, it changed it forever. Fans are still in shock, debating whether this was the bravest move in rap history or a risky mistake that nearly tore families, friendships, and careers apart. Even now, with the Lost track topping every chart and the press conference hailed as a turning point for honesty in music, questions remain. Will other artists follow Kendrick's example, or will jealousy and suspicion rule the game again when the next big drama hits? Will old wounds really heal, or is another scandal always lurking around the corner in a world where loyalty comes with a price? What do you think was Kendrick's sacrifice? A true act of respect, or did he give up too much for a legend who never asked for it? Is this the start of a new era in hip-hop, or just another wild chapter in a story that never really ends? We want to hear your thoughts and your wildest theories. Drop your reactions in the comments below. Whose side are you on? And do you think more secrets are about to come out? And if you love this roller coaster of emotion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next unbelievable twist in hip-hop's craziest sagas. Because in this world, legends are made, alliances are broken, and every week brings a new shock, and you don't want to miss a single beat. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you for the next drama.